Welcome to Herf Zone Live, the show where we have the most eclectic lineup of guests, of which some smoke cigars and some who don't. Either way, we bring you the best content weekly. Herf Zone Live is sponsored by StogieLives.com, a social media site just for cigar smokers. Sign up for free and connect with cigar lovers from all over the world. Set up with similar features to Facebook and other social media sites, you can grow your network, start groups, post events, and see why everyone is talking about StogieLives.com. Make sure you connect with Team Shirtless Mike and Herf Zone Live and tell me you came because of the show. Team Shirtless Mike and Herf Zone Live are also getting behind a special project with Ace Prime Cigars and Stogie Press. They are working to raise money for a daycare center in Jalapa, Nicaragua, to help out workers in the cigar industry, among helping in other ways. As you know, Nicaragua has a lot of poverty, and in Jalapa there is massive amounts of need. That's where a lot of cigars are produced, so I'm getting behind this along with others in the cigar industry to make a difference. The link to the Stogie Press article is in the show description. You can learn more about the project and make a donation by clicking the link that's also in the description. Same place. Together we can achieve more. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Well, I hope everybody had a great day today. First of all, first order of business here before we actually bring Kevin on. I want to shout out everybody in the Smoking Social group, all the socialites out there, because I was this close to 200 subscribers on YouTube, and you guys helped me to get to over 200 subscribers. As a matter of fact, let me look at the exact number if my phone doesn't act up. Before we bring on Kevin, though, while I'm trying to get my phone up here, before we bring on Kevin, he hit me up yesterday and said he wants to do the Humidor drawing live on tonight's show. So we will be doing the drawing live after the show. And so make sure you watch the whole show, comment, and all that good stuff. And we'll see who is the winner ultimately. Yeah, so I'm at 219 subscribers. So everybody that has got me to this point today, I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. And now, without further ado, I'm going to bring on the man, the myth, the legend, the one who everybody has been waiting to see me interview, Mr. Kevin Shahan, aka Cigar Prop.
What is going on, Mike? What is going on, everybody in the chat panel? Like Mike said, I am Kevin from Cigar Prop, and I am coming to you live from the Drew Estate Experience Acid Studios. And tonight, it's actually the Smoke In Virtual Lounge is what we're going to, the Great Smoke Virtual Lounge. That's what we're calling this tonight, because it is going to be a great event this weekend. I'm going to get to see my little babushka. Mikey's coming down.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have a great time.
Yeah, I'm going to be hanging out all freaking day. I'm actually only going for the day, so I'm going to be drinking lots of coffee towards the end because I got to make sure I'm wide awake and energized. But I'm definitely excited for sure, man. It's going to be a good time. So how was your day today, brother?
It was a good day today. We've got some great people in the chat panel, but Ron Real TV, I've been chatting with him, and everybody knows I get, and Jessica, she knows that I'm a crier, and I cried a little bit today, Mikey, because I got a package today, and it's my very first collaboration cigar.
Nice.
And I opened up the package, and it was a little too overwhelming. It's you dream. I think every cigar smoker dreams of this, of doing a collaboration and having their name attached to something. And I can't tell you anything about it. I apologize. Nothing at all, because like I said, it might be a hot minute before it's out. But it was.
And later on in the interview, we're going to talk about, you can't reveal details, but we're going to talk about that more too. So.
Yes. So let's. I need a cigar, Mike. This is a cigar show, if I'm not mistaken. So
as a matter of fact, I'm pretty much done with the other cigar, so I'm about to light up something, and I'm going to do it backwards tonight because in honor of you coming on the show. I've been on your show twice, and you're the one that first challenged me to smoke a cigar backwards. So I figured I'm gonna do the Undercrown Sun Grown. It's something I've smoked quite a bit of. So I'm gonna see. You know, I'm not. I'm. Not, I did. I've already done the flavored cigar, so I'm just gonna see
I,
what this
I,
underground
I'm
sun will do.
doing an infused cigar. I am doing the acid Cuba Arte, and I am gonna smoke that backwards, aka prop style. Since we all know I invented smoking a cigar backwards, I did not invent it, and I don't claim to have invented that. I don't think anybody can invent smoking. There's probably people have been smoking cigar backwards for as long as there've been cigars, but it was a super cool thing I did a couple years ago. It really took the cigar world by storm. And yes, I challenged Mike to smoke a cigar backwards. So, and if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, it's called prop style. You just take a cigar that you've smoked numerous times and you know forwards and backwards, and you just smoke it backwards. You're going to get an entire new smoking experience by smoking that cigar backwards, and it really will mess with you. It'll blow your mind.
Hmm.
So how are you doing on this fine day, Mike?
I'm doing good, man. It's a little weird smoking this cigar backwards, but I'm gonna take the band off. So once we get into this interview, then I won't have to worry about it because it's definitely odd smoking this cigar backwards. But I had a lot of freaking pepper when I first lit this up backwards. So
And this acid Cuba Arte, I don't care. Everybody in the chat panel, if you'd have cut and lit this backwards and handed it to me, I never would have guessed it was a Cuba Arte. I know it's an infused cigar, but like
yeah,
99% of the sweetness is gone. The infusion you can barely taste. But so I challenge everybody, if you do it, Instagram,
yeah.
whatever, just hashtag prop style.
Definitely. All right, we're going to get into the interview here. We got a lot of people in the chat panel here, and everybody's chiming in. So let's go ahead and get started here. So let's take it way back, okay? You have
Way
done
back.
you've done a myriad of professions, from being a bartender and managing a bar to doing private security and now being a mechanic. Tell me about how you got into those professions and what led you to be eventually becoming a mechanic.
God, that's a pretty broad question there, Mike. It's let's see. I started bussing tables when I was like 14 years old, and I was always in the kitchen, always behind the line. I just became a line cook at one point. And then I managed my first kitchen and became a chef when I was like 17, 18, and I was just in the restaurant business for a long time. Then I was actually a drywall finisher for a number of years. A lot of people don't know that. I was in construction. I had fun doing that. Um, and then moved into, I don't even know where the progression goes. You know, it's like all of us at that age, we had some weird jobs and in between jobs, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually got into tending bar. And then on the side, also did like high end private security, like $1 million homes and stuff, condos, and that got boring. I got like night shift, 7 p.m., 7 a.m. Nothing ever happens in a gated community. Nothing ever happens in these condo buildings. It's just not that I wanted to see any action by any means. That's not what I was about.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then just I mean, I've been working on cars since I was 15 years old.
Mm.
Just always taking motors out, putting them in, transmissions, rebuilding this, hot rodding that. And just turned into a job at a quick lube at one point. And then, and then it just morphed into just kind of a full time gig, just doing this full time.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty awesome to hear about that progression and all that good stuff. I'm trying to ask the questions that nobody else is gonna ask, to make this interesting. So a while back, you were picked to be in the commercial for Tires Plus, the company that you work for. How did you go about getting picked for that, and what all happened with that?
I bullied them into doing it. And that is a true story. So I found out my boss is an asshole. He's a good guy. We're friends, so I can call him that. So it came, and I was late to the punch. They had put out a company wide thing. we're doing another commercial. They do them like every 2 years. We're looking for technicians, sales staff, various people to be in the commercial itself. So you had to fill out a questionnaire, and then you had to upload like a 2.5 minute video to this website. I don't know how to do a 2.5 minute video, Mike. I don't know. That's not my thing. So I decided to do a 15 minute a YouTube video. And if you'd have dug a little deeper, Mike, you'd have seen that video is on my YouTube channel.
No, I've seen that video.
Did you?
I
Oh, did
remember
you?
seeing it. Yeah, I remember
Okay,
seeing it.
and then so I was drinking, I was smoking a cigar, and I was just being myself, and then I bullied. I asked everybody, okay, hop on Instagram, Twitter, all these platforms, calling out Tires Plus. Tires Plus, you need to get Kevin from Cigar Prop in this commercial. So a couple months go by, I don't hear anything at all, and then I get a phone call from a lady in doing whatever it is that she does, that I was picked, and I'm like, oh, super sweet. So and it sucked for me because normally they hold these like in California or somewhere far away.
Yeah.
They held it in Bradenton. I had to drive, like everybody else got to come to Florida. I'm like, because they were staying in this hotel, and they're like, oh, where are you staying? I go, I don't know, 40 minutes away in my house, So, I just live here all the time. I wanted to go somewhere cool, New York or whatever. But so we meet the day of for our fittings, for our custom uniforms, shoes, and everything else. So I'm sitting at a table with all the other technicians and like the sales staff. We're all segregated, like we all, like technicians, and we all hang together and make fun of everybody else. But so every time like someone new we didn't know would walk in the door, they would instantly come over to the table, and they were like, "Hey, it's nice to finally meet you." And they would, everybody was like greeting me. And then like some of these were like high ups in the company, and everybody's looking at me going, what is this all about? And I go, I don't have any idea who those people are. So at one point a guy comes in that I did know, and I go, hey, why does everybody keep coming over and say hi to me? They're like, well, at like the national conference like 3 weeks ago or whatever it is, the CEO, everybody from Japan, because we're owned by a Japanese company, they're all sitting in a room. They're all brainstorming for whatever that year. Giant screen TV is up, so PowerPoint presentation. And at one point, they decided to play my video to everybody in the company. Everybody, that's who's who in my company got to see me in my video. So he's like, yeah, they all just want to meet you because they all saw you on the big screen. So it was a super fun experience, though. I mean, I've never been around that much equipment in my life, like that much technical, the cameras. I was the annoying guy. I mean, all the lighting guys, the sound guys, I was talking to them constantly. I'm like, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Like the lighting guy, I'm like, why are you bouncing it off this? And so I learned so much from doing that. And it was a blast. And it was I was made like technical advisor to the whole shoot after like 2 hours when we realized that these guys didn't know like our jobs. So I had to keep interrupting them. Like, cause these other technicians, they'd be like, hey, we want you to do this. And they wouldn't say, hey, that's not what we do. So I kept interrupting them. I go, hey, that's not our job. That's all. Anybody ever see what a mechanic does? We don't do that. So they made me technical advisor on the shoot for the 3 days. And it was super cool.
Kevin the overachiever, way to go, buddy.
Oh yeah. They let me direct one scene. They let me direct a whole photo shoot. Because at one point the director was busy, and he came over and he goes, Kevin, you know what you're doing. Here's what I need. You take over the whole shoot of the and it was still photography, and so that was and some of my shots have been used, in ad campaigns and everything else. So it was cool.
Awesome. And so how did you get into smoking cigars, and how long have you been smoking cigars?
I honestly don't know. I'm not one of these guys that will tell you, okay, in August of 1997, I lit up my first cigar, in my best Morgan Freeman voice. But I don't know. I don't know when I started smoking cigars. Could have been 18, could have been 25. To be honest with you, I don't have a good memory. But I remember what got me into smoking cigars, and that's the question that I ask all my guests as well. and that's my best friend Brian. His dad, which is no longer with us, Dick, he always smoked cigars. He basically taught me how to work on cars, and he always had a cigar, and it was always a cheap cigar, but it was just that smell of the cigar that was always enticing. So
Yeah.
eventually, I just bought some like Phillies blunts and smoked those, and then moved up to like some cheap Victor Sinclairs from Thompson Cigar, and that's what really got me into smoking. And then really once I become like an avid cigar smoker, he was getting older, and he eventually gave up cigars. So it was I don't it's not a regret because it's not something that ever happened, but it's the only thing in my life that I regret never happened. I never got to sit down with him and smoke a cigar. It just he gave it up, for health reasons and everything else. So
Yeah.
and then he passed away 2 years ago. So, but yeah, it was I never got to smoke a cigar with him. I have his I got his portrait tattooed on my chest though, so I never forget him.
Awesome, awesome. And so when I first came to know of you, you initially came on the scene because you created cigar accessories, namely the Cigar Prop, and you also had the Irish Beer Bomb. How did you get into creating cigar accessories and the Irish Beer Bomb?
Well, just like the cigars are going through a boom right now. Beards went through this boom about 5 years ago. Everybody was growing a beard. Everybody was making product, and then everybody was reviewing product. There were so many beard company reviewers out there. At that time, there was probably 50 cigar reviewers, and there were 500 beard reviewers. And now, obviously, it's flipped. But
Mm-hmm.
I just started growing my beard out, and product, like really good product, all natural product, is kind of expensive, and I thought, why is this so expensive, and then why is it so sticky? Because everybody uses like a shea butter or these butter based, and being a
Mm-hmm.
mechanic, everything sticks in it. So I started asking around, to people, and they're like, I'm like, why can't anybody make one without using a butter as a base, jojoba butter, shea butter, coconut butter. And everybody kept saying, well, it's impossible. It's impossible to get a product to solidify unless you use a butter. And I'm like, well, nothing's impossible. And I'm like, well, I come to find out it was almost impossible. I stumbled on the recipe. It's like WD-40. After 40 tries, you finally get it. And then
Mm-hmm.
I finally got it. And then it really took off. It was I had other beard company owners buy my product under somebody else's name, and then tried to replicate it. And they would always message me, and they go, we tried to copy it. And go, we don't know how you do it. How do you do this? And I still won't tell anybody. And there's still only two companies in the world that make a product similar to mine, and that's my product and the product of a buddy of mine that has my recipe. So I helped him out, and that was like that's what I've always done. Though I've always helped people out, even back then. Tweaking a blend, but he had a really good core product. He was close to matching mine, the closest. And then he was such a good guy, combat veteran, and I just told him, I'm like, here's how we're gonna do it, and tweaked his blend, made it a little closer to mine. So he's the only one out there with a product similar to mine.
Awesome. And so now about the cigar accessories, about how you created the cigar prop and all that. Like how did that all come about?
And that was really with me just tinkering around on my lathe one day. I was making a bushing or a bung or something. My cigar kept rolling around. I had created the piece that I needed, and I had extra material in my lathe. And I'm like, all right, let me just turn down something cool, milled it out, and then I had something to set my cigar into. And of course I say it become popular. Jessica pushed me to really market it. I had no interest in opening up a cigar accessory company. I was just going to give them out to my buddies. A couple of them had seen that, and they
Yeah.
wanted one, um, and that was it. It just kind of took off from there, and just paying attention to the community, paying attention to what's out there. What something is lacking, I guess. And I've just had a knack for just making things. I've always been like a metal artist, and Jessica does painting, and that type of art. I do hard physical art with objects and stuff, and yeah, I've always just had a knack for it. And then the butane lighter air bleed tool, and that's what took off. That's what took me, got me exploded, and from there on out, it's been the nub tools, and it's been everything else. It's been crazy. It's just been a wild journey, and we don't even make cigar props anymore. Cigar Rest. We do this this one cool folding one, and actually the guys at Cigar Medics makes this for us, and yeah. So it's
I
the
got
only.
right here. Keep it in my wallet most of the time if I go somewhere.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. For some reason my internet's like fast now, but it went out for some reason, but it went right back. So I was like, thank God.
yeah. That's no issues at all. So, but yeah. So we're just always innovating, always trying to keep it on the next level. It's like I said, the cigar props, and we really took off. There weren't any other companies here in the U.S. making them. Amazon was filled with a bunch of cheap Chinese versions, and
Yeah.
then a lot more people started making them, knocking them off, making the wooden ones. So we saw the writing on the wall that the cigar holder of the original prop. I don't even know if I have one laying around here. It was dead. So we just moved on. We had our 2-piece one that we slid together. We came up with a design for that one. Had a company make us a bunch of them. Got hooked up with Cigar Medics, Luigi and those guys,
Oh
and
yeah.
I sent them one. They had my original one, and they liked it, and then they reached out to me and was like, hey, what if you put a hinge on that? And I go, well, you can't do a hinge. There's only one person, Chinese company on or Amazon that sells the hinged one, and it's a piece of crap. So they went to work, and they figured it out, and that's what we see here. And they made it for me, and they made it for themselves, and then that's it.
Awesome. And so Abe actually posted like an old YouTube video from your old YouTube. So I ran across your old YouTube channel. You have an interesting array of videos, including one about knitting. When did you get into knitting?
I wanted a scarf, and I wanted a long one, and nobody makes. I wanted like a 6 foot long scarf, and I think mine ended up being like 7 feet. But nobody had one, and I'm like, well, how hard is it to knit? It's hard as fuck to knit, is what it is. If you have like the crocheting needles and everything else. But
Yeah.
I came across a YouTube video on the using the Nifty Knitter Loom. So you're still
Mm.
knitting, but you're using a loom, and it's a little bit easier. It's a lot easier. So I started doing some knitting using the loom, watching YouTube videos on how to do it, and then there were some things that I wanted to make that nobody had done a video on. I wanted to make like this little neck warmer, but I wanted it poofy on both sides, and nobody knew how to make one. So I invented a pattern on how to do it, and I'm like, I'll put it out there on YouTube. So I think I have 2 or 3 like patterns that I had invented for different scarves and neck warmers and stuff like that. And then back then it was just me and one other dude. We were the only 2 guys on YouTube knitting with these looms, and it was. And
Mm.
I used to talk to him every now and then. Super cool guy, and yeah, it was just 2 dudes. That was it in this sea of women, and usually these older women. I mean, back then. I'm telling you, Mike. I mean, I was younger. I didn't have a beard. I was a rock star in the
Yeah.
knitting world. These women, these older women, loved me. So but they found someone else, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. And you've also been known to like the Spice Girls and Hello Kitty and other girlish things that seem odd for a bearded man to enjoy. Um, what got you into all that as well?
There's nothing wrong with liking any I got married, so we'll go way back. I got married when I was 16 years old. I got married not because we had to have a kid. I was like at 16 I was like a 40-year-old, so I wanted to get married, have kids, dog, picket fence. And then that first marriage, I mean, it lasted 17 years. So it's not like I got married at 16 and bailed a couple years later.
Yeah.
So when I had my daughter at 17, almost 18 years old, I was still a child.
Yeah.
So when she started getting older, and I'm still not 21-year-old and 21 and got a kid running around. So my daughter loved Britney, Christina, Spice, the bubblegum pop of,
Yeah.
of, of the time. So that's just, if you have a kid, you're gonna watch the Aladdin movie 1,000 times. You're gonna watch, whatever. You're gonna listen to whatever music that they want to listen to a million times, and then you're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
memorize the lyrics of all of those songs. And yeah, and I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality to like things that are pink and to like Hello Kitty. I'm not afraid that Matt Booth is the sexiest man in the cigar industry. Sorry, Pete Johnson. Matt has officially, but Matt's wooing me. Matt is out there like Pete's just out there looking good, like being handsome, being a stud that he is, and just being out there like Kevin. You can't ever have this is basically what he's saying. But Matt Booth is out there like Kevin. You can have this if this is So he's been wooing me lately, and so he's a sexy man right there, and there is nothing wrong with that. So
Yeah, and I wasn't busting your balls. I just was like, how do you like Hello Kitty and all this stuff? Like, but hey, there's nothing wrong with a man wearing pink either. But
yeah, that's it. So it's I've just always been a weird kid. I was just that weird kid. I was that weird adolescent. I'm the weird adult. I'm going to be the weird old man. And that's just the way it is.
yeah, definitely. And you all, I know you just addressed this on broadleaf bullies, but for the sake of everything, and since you don't have, you could tell your version of the story uninterrupted. Jessica's not; she might bust in the room. But how did you and Jessica meet?
We actually met on Plenty of Fish. It was I was sitting in the parking lot waiting to go into work one day, and just checking out my Plenty of Fish and my whatever. I think it was Plenty of Fish, and then I forget what the other one was. And then there she was. She just she struck me, and it was just something about her, and yeah, we just struck up a conversation, and she liked my beard, so she swiped the same way when I swiped on her, and we just struck up a conversation, and that was it, because she is a weird girl. Jessica is weird as fuck. I mean, but like me, but we're artists. Artists are weird people. We have weird sense of humors, and we just liked the same things, and it was just so many things clicked. Her daughter Gabriella, who lives with us, and my daughter Amber, who lives down in Miami, because she's an adult, have the exact same birthday, and then Jessica almost named Gabby Amber. That was her first choice. So I mean, we almost had two Ambers with the same birthday. It was just I don't know. I guess it was just whether you believe it or not, a match made in heaven. It was fate. It was karma. It was divine intervention. It was whatever you want to call it. But yeah, she was the one. I knew that right when I saw that picture.
Yep, definitely. That's awesome. And you guys actually have a family situation that's similar to one that I grew up in. My parents are divorced. My dad remarried. My stepmom already had a son. My dad had me and my brother. So you guys have a blended family. Was it challenging when you got, I know your kids are older, and Jessica's kids are younger, but was it challenging when you were beginning to blend your family, or was it just like a natural thing? And
it wasn't, because my kids were already old. My kids already lived on their own.
okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, for her kids, you coming into the picture and you guys blending it that way, though. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it was a little difficult for her two younger kids. Now her son Graham is the same age as my son, so coming into the picture, then he was a little, because he was the man of the house.
Yeah.
So he was very guarded of his mom, and he was guarded of his of his brother and sister. He was he felt comfortable because when we went on the first date, I didn't know Jessica's children had and I don't want to call them disabilities because that's not what they are. But Wyatt
Yeah.
has Down syndrome, and then Gabby has Asperger's, which is high functioning autism.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, and then I found that out on our first date, and then we went out on a second date, and then and it was shortly after that. And then her and Graham went to New York for his like 18th birthday, whatever. He came back and he said, I knew I could trust you because you basically you found out on the first date that the woman that you're dating has two children with developmental issues. Well, and then you asked her out on a second date, and I told myself I like your mom. She's cool. It's and I don't want to and I don't want to say it wrong because it'll come out wrong. But if you love someone, the baggage that comes with them, that becomes your baggage. I don't want to talk about the kids as in baggage, but I mean just everything in life is is baggage.
What they had before you becomes yours, and it's not baggage. Obviously, it's probably the wrong term to use.
And I just don't know, and that's why people hate me a lot because I use wrong terms and I get made fun of. But it is what it is. But yeah, it's so. Yes, we just hit it off, and just went from there. I knew that she was she was going to stick around because I think our second or third date, fourth date, it was with my parents and my sister. My sister come in from down in West Palm Beach. I was supposed to have dinner, at their house, and then I asked Jessica, I go, hey, do you want to just come have dinner? And then she's like, yeah, I'll come have dinner. So met the whole family like on the second, third, or fourth date, whatever it was, and they all loved her. My sister friend requested her on Facebook right away, and they hit it off, and then we introduced my kids, and now my daughter Amber is absolutely in love with Jessica. Amber has told me on several occasions that if I fuck this up, she's going with Jessica. They are just best friends, absolute best friends, and
that's awesome.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I don't really put this out there or whatever, but my youngest brother, Matt, he has Asperger's. He's real high functioning, so I could definitely relate on that. And he's he's very high functioning, super intelligent. Like he's not like awkward. He could socialize, but he's got his quirks and stuff like that. And we had issues in the past because he used to like hate the smell of cigars. Like he used to freaking hate the smell of cigars. Like he would just constantly troll me and talk about how it stinks or whatever. And then what was it, a year or two ago when he came to visit because he's been living in Utah. He kind of goes back and forth between living with my dad and then he'll just suddenly take off and just like live wherever he lands. And he actually smoked a cigar with me because because he got over all that, and he was 20 and he smoked a cigar with me, not in a cigar shop. I think this was before the law changed or whatever, but that way I don't incriminate myself. But yeah, it was an awesome experience to smoke a cigar with my brother and all that good stuff. So we're gonna keep this rolling. I have a whole lot more to cover here. So while I was watching Broadleaf Bullies, Jessica mentioned that you are not fun to road trip with. What is a typical road trip like with you?
Well, first thing you do is you get in the car, and then you tell your GPS where you're going, and then you write down that time. Because if GPS says you're supposed to be there in like 17 hours and 10 minutes, you must be there within that time, or you have to beat that time. And that includes all of your stops. So when we stop at the bathroom, it's get in the bathroom and get the hell back in the car. We got to beat the GPS. Road tripping is horrible with me. I don't listen to music. I do like on my trip to work, the 15-minute drive to work, 20-minute drive. But if I'm in the car for more than 30 minutes, I'm learning something. I've got I've got YouTube on my phone, and it's just playing through the car speakers, and I'm not watching it or anything, but just listening to it. And it's usually documentaries, things that you don't have to watch. So
Yeah.
you listen, documentaries, tons of cigar reviews. She actually at when we were heading up to New Jersey, when we finally got up there, she goes, "I never want to listen to Martina Maya again, ever." Because I mean, because I had to get caught up on 15 of his videos, so it was that intro music we kept hearing and kept hearing and then kept and then
Yeah.
so it was just one of them, and she likes Martine, but it's but yeah, so I'm not good on road trips. It's I don't like stopping, I don't like doing anything. It's getting from point A to point B, and then getting out and then having your fun there. It's unless you would take one day I'd love to take a road trip in like an RV and then just hit
Hmm.
like 1,000 different places, and then that would be fun. But when you're the one fucking driving for 18 hours, everybody wants to have fun. No, I don't
Yeah.
want to turn it into 20 hours, 22 hours, because nobody else wants to drive but Kevin. So I am the navigator, so it's my way, or get the hell out.
Yeah, definitely. And you made it known recently that before you do a show, you feel like you're going to get sick and you freak out before going live. Why do you think you get like that? Because once you go live, you seem like you're a complete natural.
I am. It's all about and you know why too. It's all about filling time. It's all about filling content.
Hmm.
So right now we're at 36 minutes. So 36. We just hit 37 minutes.
Yeah.
This is the point for me where I relax during an interview. So I'm like, all right. So we're 40 minutes in. It's going to be a piece of cake to fill an hour and a half. At this point, we're good.
Yeah.
We can coast here. We can
With
talk about
you, I could feel an hour over an hour easily. I don't even. I relax the whole show now.
Oh yeah, so yeah, we can go on 2 hours. I don't care, but and it's all about asking, the questions. How's the, because a lot of these people I've never met before. I
Yeah.
only know of them, online on through their, whatever you meet them, they're a maker, you just know of them. So you're always nervous, am I going to say something dumb again, like I always do? Am I going to ask the right questions? Am I going to fill enough time? Is something going to go wrong? And it's just,
Hmm.
you try and have a timeline. That's why I'm a note taker. Like you have you have all these notes. You want to be prepared, because you want to have a good interview. And
Hmm.
every time we have someone new on the show, they always reach out afterwards, and it's like, and they're like, that was like one of the best interviews I've ever done. Thank you for doing your research. And that's what and that's what I love. I love research. Like when we had Fuad,
Hmm.
from Hireman Solomon on, and it was great. Towards the end, I asked him about the patent that he had, and he goes, "How do you know about that?" And I go, "I did my research." And he goes, "My friends don't know about that." And like nobody knows that he's got a patent for like a children's garment. And then I
Mm.
had mentioned to him, I go, "You really need to do something with that." And I go, "Do you know how many patent applications have been denied, and they have cited your patent as the reason they're denying these patents?" And he's like, "I didn't know that." And I'm like, "It's a lot. Like you nailed down this patent on this item, and like I said, other people are trying to produce this, but your patent is what's stopping them from doing it." So it was cool. And he's like, "Huh, I'm gonna have to look into that."
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's why I get nervous.
definitely. So when did you decide to start the I Tap That Cigar Show and Impromptu Live when you still had that before you switched to only one show a week?
So I think it was early 2009 or 2019. Um, I got. I mean, Heather Callahan.
Oh yeah.
From yeah. So Heather sent me a message one night and it's like, "Hey, you need to turn on this show." And it was the Stickman Chronicles. The Ash Holes back then, and it was actually the very first night that Bones and Mort and the guys, they weren't on. So
Mm.
I didn't know them at that point. So I didn't know their history. I didn't know what happened. And then So I tuned in, and I think I may have called in like during that, or somebody dropped my name, and then I called in to the shows, either that one or the next week. And then I think I called in a couple more times, and then had me on the show once or twice, and then I become, basically, the every week. I was the co-host every single week, and then that whole shit storm happened with him.
Yeah.
Brad and I kind of took over the show, and then at one point, Brad and I wanted to start our own show. So we started the Bearded Bro Show, and we did that for a while, and then it started to get really hard getting our schedules linked up. He's out in Arizona, I'm here in Florida. He actually runs a business,
Yep.
so it wasn't always. So we decided to. We're still, absolute best friends to this day, and we decided to just go our own ways and stop the. Because I was going to start a second show at that point, and then just keep doing with that. And then we decided just to give up on our show, and then I started the I Tapped That Cigar Show, and then we had so many manufacturers and people wanted to be on. We started to have an impromptu night live. Sometimes it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever it was. And then we just made it part of our weekly shows. We just had two shows, for an entire year. We did two shows a week. There were some weeks we had three shows. There was a couple weeks we had four shows in one week.
Yep.
It was just crazy.
Yeah. And so eventually Diggins joined as your co-host. How did you two get connected?
We just got connected through Caesar. Diggins wanted to start a review channel, so I thought I'd give him a little plug. So we just had him on the show, and then as just a guest, and then he just came in a couple times as a co-host, and then he just become a co-host.
Awesome. And so during the course of the last year and a half, the time, almost 2 years that you've been doing your show, you've interviewed a lot of big time cigar industry people. So far, who has been your favorite interview?
It's hard to say who's been my favorite interview. It's I love Matt Booth. Matt and I always have fun. We always chat. We always have a good time. So Matt's always a favorite interview. Recently, Robert Caldwell was absolutely fantastic.
That was an awesome one. That's one of my personal favorites.
That was great. But I would probably say who was God damn Matt Booth's friend, buddy, not big tall son of a bitch. God, it's going to irritate me that for some reason I can't remember his name. He does the Robert Caldwell. Robert Caldwell.
Robert Caldwell. I was about to say.
Robert. So Robert Caldwell. And the one I was thinking of before, Robert Holt was the other one. Robert Holt was the recent one that I loved. Robert Holt, just his story and everything else that went along with being where he is today really resonated with me deeply. So it was Robert Holt that we did recently, and then Robert Caldwell we did a few months ago. But that was a wild ride of a show. That show went everywhere, and I think hands down that's probably one of our most popular shows.
Awesome. And so you're no stranger to controversy. You're known for saying dumb stuff from time to time, even doing what others would perceive as dumb. When you started talking about smoking cigars backwards, and somebody, word got back to somebody, you never mentioned the name. We don't want to do that, but they basically pissed them off because you're not smoking a cigar the traditional way. How do you handle negative reactions to what you say or do from time to time?
Especially on the smoking the cigar backwards thing. So we've had some manufacturers that didn't really agree with what I was doing, but I follow it up with this. How many of you have rims on your car? So you decided to take a product that, say, a General Motors engineer designed. Now, when they design a product, they design everything to fit together. The rims, the tires, the brakes, everything goes together. Then you buy it and you put new rims on it. Does it piss that engineer off? It shouldn't, because you bought it. Now
Yeah.
you get to do whatever the hell you want to do with it. The same with our phones. We put cases on them. We put screen protectors on them. Everything we do, we customize in our lives to make it our own. So why is a cigar any different? Yeah, so they blended it to now. I would never say to pick up a cigar that you've never smoked before and smoke
Yeah.
it backwards. You really need to know what that cigar is. But if you want a different experience on that cigar, pick it up and smoke it backwards. I handle things pretty good. I've pissed off a lot of manufacturers. Not a lot. I would probably say a half a dozen of them. I've pissed off John Huber with Crown Heads a couple times. Like he called. I think he called me a fucking liar once on my YouTube channel, and then a couple days later, he didn't apologize, but kind of apologized for just saying it out in public. And then he sent me a care package, so he understood, so I misquote a lot of people. I have no remembrance for like things that actually happen. Like I always get like the gist of it, but then I completely fuck it up and say something backwards,
Yeah.
So I've pissed off it, but luckily I think now people just get used to it. It's just Kevin. He's an idiot, just saying dumb shit. Good thing he's got Jessica with him, so she's my saving grace, because everybody, I always say that everybody tolerates me. They love Jessica.
Yep, and actually, I gotta hit her up like for the future. I need to do just an interview with her, because I know she could stand on her own with the interview, and
She
and
she
and,
she she
and I
would
won't,
she would.
but I won't make it I won't have her like it's not gonna be like a Kevin session or anything.
It's you gotta get in line though. When she's ready to do her first, Lee Mack is her first.
All right.
Lee Mack has been wanting to do something with Jess for a while, and he has said it. So because that she's his girl right there. He loves her, no nonsense, and she absolutely adores Lee Mack. So yeah, she'll probably definitely do one with you. Lee Mack's got to be the first. So
Well, Lee Mack, if you're watching, hop on it.
yeah.
Because
So someone
because I do exclusives. That's what I do. Like I've interviewed people who have never been interviewed. Like mostly like rappers who I know, because I try to get them out there. But I'm trying to do like the same thing like in the cigar world too. Like I interviewed Jamie Stevens. She's cigar influencer. I'm just getting people that you just don't see on other people's shows. So
exactly. Now in the chat panel, so someone asked, "You run the risk of unraveling," and then Douglas Cook must be a deep V. Yes, you if you deep V it, and then light it. I've never had one unravel from doing something.
I V cutted mine when I smoked this.
Yeah.
Because I have my straight cuts inside, so I've just been using my V cut out here. So
Yeah, with
it's fine.
with a deep V, I've never had one unravel. So something, it just the way it starts it, and then it just kind of keeps itself together. Now, sometimes in the final third, it will start to unravel, but generally it does not.
Yeah, definitely. And so you have an unmistakable love for Drew Estate. You named your studio after them, and of course are sponsored by them. How did your relationship begin with Drew Estate?
Well, I mean, they own the naming rights of the studio. So and in that video I did, how do I get paid as a cigar reviewer? It's one of the things that I get paid as a cigar reviewer is, it's just like selling the name to a stadium or anything else. So I've just my love of Drew Estate came from, and I've told the story before. Jessica and I was at an event that we had VIP tickets to, and we were treated badly, like really badly. We had VIP tickets. There was only maybe 30 people, maybe 50 at the most. I want to say 25, 30 people in this VIP section, hundreds of other people at this event in the regular section. we were supposed to have like free drinks and everything else, and we had to go to the bar, pay for our own drinks. We got ignored by the wait staff. We got ignored by the help, and it was just and it was horrible. After that night, she swore Manuel 81 Bacardi and Diet, my drink of choice. But she swore she'd never go to an event again in her life, and she was really new to cigar smoking at that point,
Yeah.
and never again was she's going to step foot in a lounge or go to an event. Luckily, I'd already bought tickets to the Florida Barn Smoker by Drew Estate, and she didn't want to go. She was so nervous, and then I kind of knew like Drew Estate at the time, so let's go to the event. It's in Florida, right up the road, and she fell in love. She's like, these are my people. She didn't know Drew Estate was from New York, the Bronx, just
Yeah.
the Brooklyn Bridge, and she heard JD talk, and you've ever heard Jonathan Drew talk, and she's like, that's my people. Jonathan is my people, and for me, and then that blossomed her love of just cigars at that point. She wanted to try everything. She was really hooked. So for that, I will always be in Drew Estate's debt for that. They were able to provide something that Jessica and I can share together, and then it blossomed. So, I just love, and they make great cigars. It's not just that they have such a wild and eclectic portfolio. If you like something sweeter, you can go with an infused. If you like something bolder and heavier, they got the Liga Privada T52, and then you're smoking the Sun Grown, spicy but a little bit on the lighter side. You can just, no matter what you're in the mood for, no matter what you've eaten, no matter what you're drinking, Drew Estate has a cigar for you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And when you do your reviews or just other types of videos, what is your creative process like when recording and editing? We all know it just takes loads of time, so everyone's got their own process. So
turn the camera on and start talking. That's it. I'll go to Half Wheel. I'll pull up the information on the cigar if it's not on the manufacturer's website. Like a little bit of the history of the cigar, wrapper, binder, filler. I don't read the Half Wheel's tasting notes because I don't want to be influenced. So I have that in my hand. I hit record. And that's it. We start talking. There's no editing when we do a video. Like if that video is say 20 minutes long, we may only have 22 minutes of footage filmed. So literally cutting out a minute or two, and that's all we do. We just
I really don't do a lot of editing either. It's
you get into the groove. You do it a few times, you kind of know, you know what to expect, and you just talk. We don't ever review a cigar we've smoked before. So every time we smoke, we do a review. That's the first time we've tried that cigar. And that way, and that's why I do my unboxings a little different than a lot of other people too. When you have a product like a cutter, a lot of people will use it, then they'll talk about it. It's like, oh, I've been using this for like a week now. I always break mine up. I open the box. I see it. That way you and me, we're reviewing this together. So it's, and if I have any faults or anything like that, we learn about that together. So it's just, I just do things just a little bit different like that.
Yeah, I used to be a rapper, so I don't really do a lot of editing. I just re-record. If I don't like something, I just re-record. Just like if I was like in the studio, I'd be like, oh, I don't like how this sounds. Although there is editing on that because you're taking parts out and and going back and re-saying it. But with video, it's a little different. I just re-record it if I don't like something. And let's talk about the battle of the bands. You are the battle. Okay, I have to wait for you to get your. It's right behind you. So you were the underdog in the race, but you definitely came out on top, winning the challenge. There's been a lot of hate though because you were sending out swag to those who purchased the sampler. What do you have to say to the haters out there?
I have a fucking sign. I have a sign. I have a goddamn championship belt. That's what I say to the haters. The haters that are out there, they hate because they got beaten by a nobody. They got beaten by, at the end of the day, they got beaten by a businessman. And that's what the Battle of the Bands was to me. That was me doing what I do best, and that's being a businessman. Now, when Abe approached me for the Battle of the Bands, called me up one day, like, hey, I got this idea. And he goes, basically, you'll pick 5 cigars, and then you've got to get people to buy those cigars. You got to get your minions. That's what he called them, your minions, to buy the cigars. And that's how it was presented to me. So I'm like, okay, so as a businessman that does advertising, that does, social media work, I wrote out a business plan of how I'm going to do this. I set a budget. I budgeted myself $1,000. So that's what it cost me $1,000 to win the Battle of the Bands. But on the flip side, it brought you notoriety. It brought people to my website. So I made that money back. I set out an advertising budget. I approached manufacturers, about swag, giving stuff away, and then I got called a cheater for it, and it's just like, and then it's like, well, that's that's not taking in the what the contest was supposed to be about. And I'm like, no, whoa. Even Abe stepped in, like, listen, he went with the rules. He got people to buy his cigars, So, like I said, I just did what I do best, and that's be a businessman, promote it, and people got hurt because people had, 2, 3, 4, 10 times the followers that I did, and they didn't, and they just didn't push it hard enough. I think they some of these guys thought that it was going to be just a clear cut, winner. It's like, oh, I'm so and so, I'm going to win. You look at like Coop. Technically, Coop had the best pack of cigars. For the cigar nerd, like the guy that lived, eat, and breathed cigars, that knew cigars, knew the history of cigars, Coop's was the pack you were going to buy. I mean, that guy went. I mean, he delved deep. He put together a fantastic list of cigars, and but unfortunately, he's not. He's not a promoter. He's not an influencer, an ambassador. He's not flamboyant. None of those guys were going to dress as Randy Macho Man Savage.
Exactly.
And me,
that was the best part.
Me, I don't give 2 shits. About what people think of me, and that's it. Some people are going to like you or hate you, and some people are just going to tolerate you. So, it is what it is. So luckily, I won, and I had a game plan of hitting it hard. I needed 2 weeks. I needed to create such an enormous lead in the first 2 weeks that it was going to be impossible to catch me. And that was my goal, so I just hit it hard. I mean, 8 hours a day, just pummeling it. And I created such a lead. I didn't coast by any means. I kept it up, but I was able to pull back a little bit and then rest a little on my laurels and, cross the finish line.
Absolutely. And let's see here. So recently, the last few months or whatever, you were one of the first cigar people to really capitalize on TikTok and all that good stuff. So what would you say to someone who makes fun of the fact that you're on TikTok or others who are?
It's just another social media platform. People don't understand TikTok. Some people don't understand YouTube. Some people don't understand Instagram. Some people don't know that Pinterest is I think they're still the number 2 most or biggest search engine in the world is Pinterest. A lot of people don't know that. It's just people that don't do their research. People think, oh, TikTok's full of girls shaking their ass. Well, go on TikTok someday. You'll find some awesome content, some great how-to videos. I have learned so many things on TikTok, and it's super cool. I love it. So if it's we've never been afraid to try something new. What's it going to cost? A little bit of your time, is all it's going to be. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you've got to give it you got to give it your all and give it a go, on no matter what you're on, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You just have to, you just go for the gusto and can't be afraid to embarrass yourself or say something dumb.
Yep, and you actually got me on there, and although I wasn't really doing like exclusive like cigar content, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete everything that I had on there to and just do like cigar content, because I've definitely seen the power of it, and it's definitely an awesome social media site. And I know one of the comedians is a friend of mine who I interviewed like very early on. He does like impressions and stuff like that, and he's got TikTok videos with like over 1 million views.
Yeah.
He did a video. He did a Bernie Mac video where like he just did different clips where he was doing it a little at a time, and then he was doing his Bernie Mac impression, and even Steve Harvey shared his video.
Oh, wow.
And
You
so
know, that,
eventually, I'm gonna get him back on this show now that I have better quality, because like that interview audio really sucked. That was before my quality was good, and I just got to give it time to have more stuff to talk about. But like Steve Harvey, like on Twitter, shared his video, so that was like major. So I definitely seen the power of TikTok already. So
yeah, it's the power of all social media. You have to understand it. That's the key, is just doing your research, doing your homework, understanding the platform you're on, understanding how it works, understanding how the algorithm works, and then just making good content. And that's the key. And a lot of people just don't want to get off their ass and make everybody. You've heard it a million times, Mike. How many people in the cigar industry that we run into online every day. I wish I could do what you do. Then do it. Dude, just turn your camera on, man. Just so many people, during this pandemic, said, "Oh, I'm gonna start a Instagram. I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start doing that," and then they don't do it. And it's just, and then they're always wondering, they're always regretting why I didn't, or why is I'm as funny as Kevin. I'm as funny as Mike. Why am I famous? You're fucking not doing anything.
yep. So there's a guy that I follow on TikTok. He's this redneck guy. I forgot. It's dialed in redneck '09. I don't know if you ever seen him, but he'll like say something and he'll be like, "Dial it in, son."
Yeah.
And that guy, like, if that guy could get famous, anybody could get famous off of TikTok. Like, it just takes effort. He's a big redneck guy. Sometimes to do videos of him dancing with, his belly's hanging out and he's like dancing and stuff like that. And then he's got like teeth missing. He's like, "Dial it in, son."
Yeah. That's it. So there's there are tips and tricks that you can use to, and we can talk about it off air. I'm not about to, I said
Yeah,
I'm
of
doing
course.
I'm doing good on TikTok. I mean, not that I don't need the competition, but I'm not to give away all my trade secrets
Absolutely.
on how to be on good at TikTok. I'll definitely help you out. I mean, we can talk for hours on that, and I can help you out. So, but yeah, I'm not. That's right now. That's there's only a few of us, and I'm not giving up that
Oh
that
yeah.
platform so easily.
Definitely. We just got a few more things to talk about, and then we'll get into the giveaway here. Because I always prepare more than enough stuff to talk about, and
We
then
can talk all night, Mike. I don't.
the
I'm
flow
good.
the flow of everything. I'm just gonna talk about the important stuff. So let's talk about your end of the year cigar list. You picked just one cigar each between you and Jessica as your cigar of the year. How come you decided to do that instead of making a full list?
Because I'm biased. Not that I'm biased. I really had a hard time with my list. That's actually covered up right now, and I still have the list that's up there. But it really hurt me thinking about the list. Like there were so many, like Steve Saka would have been up there in the top five without a doubt. I've made so many great friends. Matt Booth. Robert Caldwell. Robert Holt. So guys that I talk to, Pete Johnson. That these guys that I talk to sometimes daily, weekly, monthly. That we share stories together. They call me out of the blue for just something random. How do I I not include their cigar, in my top 5 or my top 10? And now they understand that. They understand that their cigar isn't always going to be on their top 10 or someone's top 5. But for me, I had a hard time with that because I take friendships, like deeply. It's like
Yeah.
how do I create, a list and not include, my friend on it, and as crazy as that sounds, it's just I want all my friends to be on my list. So I end up, Jessica and I end up settling with one cigar each, and it's just a mystery of whoever was going to be in the top 5 or the top 10. And Steve knows, my cigar was the Tabernacle, the Foundation Tabernacle Havana Seed number 142. That cigar was a crazy good cigar. The Mi Querida Tricky Traca battled that cigar, all year, but at the end of the day, that Tabernacle was a cigar that I was always thinking about. We all had that cigar. Like we're
Yeah.
smoking a cigar and then we're thinking about, man, I should have had that one. And it's just that cigar that we always think about. So yeah, so it was just I felt an obligation, and then I just didn't want anybody thinking bad of me, like, oh, what did I do to make Kevin mad, and it's just it hurt too much not to put my friends on that list, so we just did the number one.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good idea. And that's part of the reason why I really don't review cigars, because I feel like I would have like a bias, when it comes to it. Like, and and like you, I know a lot of manufacturers, personally, or I've met them and we know each other, but not maybe not that close. But I definitely feel the same way, and it's definitely a good idea, especially with all these lists out there. You just kind of you have that to where you're in your own lane. You each choose a number one cigar, and that's it. Kind of
Yeah, that's
takes
it.
the guesswork out of it, and
Yeah, because we're all biased, all cigar reviewers, and I've said it before, and it's one thing that's gotten me in trouble with other cigar reviewers. All cigar reviewers are biased in one way or the other. Now there are some like Lee Mack. Lee Mack, like I said, loves Steve Saka as a person. Absolutely loves Steve Saka. Doesn't like the majority of Steve's cigars, Dunbarton cigars, and everybody knows that. I love Lee Mack for that, to be able to say that. Ron Reel, he can say if he has any biases, he doesn't really. I mean, he loves Aganorsa, but he can set his aside. So there are very few people out there that can set their biases aside. But then again, we then, with that being said, we've seen those cigar reviewers, to where it's not a review, it's a 30-minute commercial,
yeah,
for a manufacturer, for a cigar company. It's something, and it's like, I'm not watching a review. I'm watching an advertisement for a company, and that's annoying. So we all have our biases. When I reviewed the H99, I was wearing a goddamn Drew Estate shirt, a hat, and I had fucking Drew Estate signs behind me. You think I wasn't biased reviewing that H99? Now, hopefully, people know me long enough that they can read into my biases if I say something good, like, I think he might be stretching the truth there. Now, luckily with the H99 and everything Drew Estate makes, I truly deeply love their cigars. Um, but yeah, it's we all have our biases. If you say you don't have a bias, you're full of
yeah,
shit.
definitely. And so, tell me about the cigar collaborations. You told me you just got your first one in the mail today. I know you can't reveal any like details, but what was that process like working to get those blends chosen and being part of those few blends that you got going on?
It's and right now we for sure, hands down, lockdown. We've got two cigars coming out from two different manufacturers in 2021. I'm hoping for two more. I'm hoping to have four releases this year, and then all of the releases, because you know people will come back in boutique cigars. You always hear the same thing. Like I said, our cigar is different from everybody else's, and I love. There's a lot of great boutique cigar companies that come out there. I didn't want to make another Toro, another Churchill, and then just have a blend. Just to blend it and then be a little bit different, because there's an infinite number of blends you can have with a cigar. So everything that I'm going to be producing, at least for my first 3 cigars, have never been done before in the cigar world ever. Like nobody's attempted it, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Like I said, I got my samples in the mail today, and hopefully they're the final samples. I haven't even smoked one yet, of something that's never been done before. Earlier today, I got pictures of a bundle of cigars. My second release is done. It's done. It's blended. Final product. It is done. It's sitting in a bundle, waiting to get me the final product. And it's something that's never been done before. And in that situation, I had 3 manufacturers tell me it can't be done. Can't be done. Nobody will buy it. It's dumb. And then one day I'm saying, and I'd given up on that one. And I'm like, all right, so maybe they're right. And then I remembered, and I'm like, that's who I should have reached out to begin with. Reached out to him, and he goes, yeah, that can be done. He goes, people told me, my first 3 cigars, you can't do that. There's no way to make that cigar. And he goes, I made it. People love it. It sells like hotcakes. And so he worked on that blend, worked on it, and he aced it. And it can be done, and it's something that's never been done before, as far as I know. So super cool. It's just I'm lucky enough that where I've gotten to the point to where at the and then you got to remember at the end of the day, even if a cigar is not fantastic, like people know, because of this thing right here, people know I can sell cigars. Mm-hmm. So if you come out with, like Abe does his microblend with Dojo and whoever, even Saka with the latest meat box, you create 300 10-pack samplers, and it's a one-time thing. I know I can sell 300 10-pack samplers, and manufacturers know that. People, they know that, okay, we can move, some cigars, so even if it's not the world's greatest cigar, as long as it doesn't suck, it could be just a good cigar, but it's blended, or it's collaboration with me. So I can sell cigars, as long as I truly believe in it. And luckily everything that I'm going to do, I believe in. So yeah, so we're lucky enough to be at that level to where, manufacturers trust us. They trust my ideas. And they know that I have a following behind me that will buy those cigars as well. Now if the cigar sucks, that's a different story. That's
yeah.
I
may bite you in the ass.
it may, and that's it. It may turn around and bite you in the ass. So you might be able to sell your first cigar. You might be able to sell your second one, but you won't sell your third. You won't sell your fourth, because it'll be like, man, I love Kevin, but man, that guy does not know how to make a fucking cigar, so you gotta be careful with that. So
yeah, definitely. And I see in the comments, Kerry Viajante, he's chimed in. So which leads me to the final question before we get into this giveaway at the end here. So your most recent project, you and Jess, Karen, Jen are all working on. Tell me how all that came about, and what can we expect from your new podcast, Broadleaf Bullies? I've seen the first episode, so everybody out there that's watching, you definitely need to go see that if you haven't already. But what can we expect, in the coming forth?
It's just 4 friends sitting around and just talking. We got Chris, the Cigaraholic, on right now. One thing that we want to do in the future as well is get husband and wives together and then come on and do, guest spots with us. We're just Jessica and I and Ken and Jer, or Jen and Care. We're just 4 friends that sit around and talk about shit, and that's all it is. We make fun of each other. We make fun of life. And it's just, it's just like when you go over to your friend's house, and when we've all been there, just having a good time, having game night or whatever, and you're having a good time, then, like, why aren't we recording this? We're funny, So, that's what we did. We just sat around talking, and we're just we're just having fun, you know. So you're, you know, episode 1, you learn a little bit about each of us, and then we'll just take topics and then we'll just talk about them. And you know, we're called the broadleaf bullies for a reason, because like I said, you're not always going to agree with what we say, but you know, we're speaking the truth is all it is, you know. So it's just four friends just sitting around like we were in a lounge somewhere, or we're sitting poolside having game night, having a couple drinks, and just having a good time,
And
and that's all it is, and it's
the
super
part
fun.
the part that I really liked about it, which is not a teaser, but we got to see that jersey come out of Jessica and Jen.
Oh, that jersey comes out,
And
and
I don't even think that was like that wasn't full force, but that
that
was
that wasn't,
definitely
you know, and I thought about, you know, Chris there in the chat panel. I'm like, whew, can we get like a third jersey? Like, I think his girl's a Jersey girl, a New York girl. I'm like, I don't know if we can get 3 of them together. Yeah, no, but you know, the guys may not talk at all, you know. So it's yeah, it's fun. So it's called the Broadleaf Bullies. It's on all the podcast, Apple, iHeart, Tune In. I mean, all of them. So you can just look up Broadleaf Bullies. We do have a YouTube channel as well, Broadleaf. So if you want to watch the video instead of listening to a podcast, you can watch the video as well. So just head over to Broadleaf Bullies on the YouTube.
yeah, definitely. So my notes reveal here. End of show. Do the Humidor giveaway. So we're at that point in the show now, and so yeah, now it's on you. So
Yes. So a couple months ago, or not a couple months ago, maybe a month ago, we New Air. So I did an unboxing on the New Air 250 count humidor. I loved it. It was my go-to humidor, and they came out with a new one, you know, that had heating and cooling. They reached out to me, hey, would you want to do an unboxing and look at this one? I'm like, oh, sure. And then I didn't need it, you know, so I'm not stingy. I'm not going to have, you know, another one laying around. So I reached out to our partners at Cigar Bundles of Miami. I go, Alex, you want to fill this thing up with cigars and give it away? And he's like, well, hell yeah, I do. So he sent me 60 cigars, and we got it. We're just going to give that away. In the meantime, New Air sent me the new 840 count. So this coming up Saturday, the video will be out. We're giving away my it's only a month old, New Air 250 count, and then Corona Cigar has loaded that with cigars. So, and then like 2 weeks after that, we have another humidor we're giving out. It's this beautiful desktop humidor, holds a couple hundred cigars. It's like a $350 humidor. Fox Cigar is loading that up with cigars, so we're giving that away. We got another manufacturer that's digging what we're doing, so they want to provide another humidor. We're going to load that up with cigars and give it away. So if you're not following us, Cigar Prop on YouTube, definitely follow. We are giving away so many humidors, so many cigars. We love doing that,
it's like
and we
Oprah
love have
Winfrey over there. You get a humidor. You get a
yeah,
humidor. Everybody gets a
everybody gets a
humidor.
humidor. So all right, so I'm gonna share my screen, Mike.
All right.
So let's see. Let's see. So I can't see you anymore, Mike, but I can hear you. Can you see the screen? I'm in the YouTube.
Let me add it to the. I have to add it to the stream.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I just added it to the stream.
Okay. So can you see the my YouTube page?
Yeah, it's real small, but I can see it.
Okay, so I wasn't sure how it works when I'm on your end. So right now, I'm on the New Air 250 count. You can see we had 1,800 views, 500 comments. So we're gonna go over here to TubeBuddy, and we're going to do pick a winner. And it's not working. So let me refresh this tab here. All right. Are you still able to see it, Mike?
Yep.
Okay, so let me refresh it. Let me come back down. Let's try it again here. Pick a winner. And why is it not Why is it not coming up? All right, so what we're going to do here, um, while we're doing this, because I turned off the commenting, so let me just do it this way, and I can do I can do it different. Let's see. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to get this URL, get shareable link.
There's always a backup way to do stuff.
Yep. Okay, so I am going to share this once again here. So
All right. Once I see it,
all right.
add to stream.
All right. So can you see it?
Yep, it's just real. It's small, but you can see it on the
Oh,
screen.
okay. So as long as you can, as long as okay. So let me come back here. Okay, so I can see it. So I think the people can see it a little bit bigger. So I've got the URL. Filter duplicate users because some people like to cheat and then put multiple comments up, try and get in multiple entries. Well, actually, no, I can't do that because I did have multiple. So let's get YouTube. So it's counting, and then let's start. So it is doing its thing. So we got I'm gonna pick a couple just in case. So number one was Joshua Mullet. So we're gonna pick another one. Like I said, I want to pick three of them just in case people don't. Alex Harada can't win because Alex Harada is from Cigar Bundles of Miami. He can't win. So that's how you know this isn't rigged. David Rudolph is number two, and then I'll pick a third one just in case. Like I said, these two people don't. And then Alan Rollhoff. So Joshua Mullet. Congratulations on winning. So I will reach out to him, and then if he doesn't get a hold of me, and we'll say 7 days, we'll go down the list, and I'm sure he's going to. Let's see that care. You're going to get another humidor sent to you by the time you pick a winner.
I should have put that up.
I already have another. Actually, I already have my next two humidors. You know, so we're good. We're giving away, and that's what we love about doing this, and it's just giving away, giving back. You know, this one is, you know, it's a $900 value, $800 value. Our next one is probably going to be, you know, $900 to $1,000 value. Then we're going to have another one, you know, a couple of $500 values. And it's just all about giving back to the community, giving back to the people that have supported you and that have been there for you, you know, since day one. And it's just that's just what we love doing. It's just always giving back, and then helping promote some of these companies like Cigar Bundles of Miami, like Corona Cigar, like Abe at Smoke Inn, like Rob at Fox Cigar. You know, it's promoting these companies and then helping to give them a little bit of spotlight as well. And then along with that, giving back to people that, you know, I love it when people win and they say, I've never won anything in my entire life. And I'm like, I love that. I love that somebody won something for the first time in their lives, and I was a part of that.
Yep, and to be honest, nobody gives away more shit than Cigar Prop.
Nobody,
Hands down.
hands. We gave away thousands and thousands of cigars last year. It's just we could keep them all, but why? You know, just spread the love. You know, get those cigars out. Get that. You know, there's only so much stuff you can hold on to, and you know, I know guys with 2, 3, 4 humidors. You know, it's like just give them away. You know, stop hoarding all the stuff. Stop being stingy. You know, but whatever. I'm not here to judge anybody else. I just yeah. Ron Real, can I have your New Air 840 count? Ron, you got one already. Ron got a nice Adu humidor. He gave it away. he gave it to his buddy that needed a humidor that didn't have one. Ron could have used that. Ron has thousands of cigars. He could have used that, but he didn't.
Yep.
He gave it away to someone that needed it, and that was awesome. So, but that 840 count, I'm not giving that away. That thing is bad ass. It is, and I did an unboxing on that. It is tits. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a good electronic humidor, that new Air 840 count, yeah, it's I think with my discount, it's like $1,300 or something, $1,200. It's not cheap by any means, but it's badass and it works.
Yep. Somebody, hold on. I gotta put this other comment up. Oops. Hold on.
Yeah, a Hello Kitty. I thought about doing one. I thought about wrapping one, in Hello Kitty. So, that would be cool. So, but yeah, so this Saturday, it'll be the FSG humidor. Quick, simple video. I don't make people run through hoops. I don't make you follow me here, follow me there. Comment, tag me here, tag me there. You get you get something here. That's a pain in the ass. That's just me trying to inflate my numbers on all the other platforms, and it's a pain in the ass. Watch my video.
It's a good way to get your numbers up, but you got your numbers up, so you just are giving back for those.
I'm lucky that my numbers are good, so I don't need to do all these weird contests where you got to do 10 things, and that's bullshit. So I just like I like doing one thing: comment to win. Comment to win. That's all you got to do is just comment to win, and have fun doing it. That's it. And we give away some kick-ass stuff.
And then Saturday, me and you will be hanging out. There's gonna be a lot of freaking people there.
Let's talk. Do we have time? Is it bedtime? I don't know what you got.
No, I don't go to sleep half the time. So as long as there's a lot of people watching us, so shit, we could bullshit about Saturday and all that.
Yeah,
the interview's done.
That's it. So this Saturday, Great Smoke, the virtual Great Smoke, the digital experience 2021 is going on down at Boynton Beach here in Florida.
Lovers Club watch party.
That's it. And everybody can watch for free. Everybody can watch on Facebook. You can watch on YouTube. It's going to be an 8-hour telethon style event, and it's by Smoke In, SMOKEINN. You can find them on their YouTube channel. You can find them on Facebook. And it's just going to be great. They got comedians. They got magicians. They've got cigar manufacturers coming in, talking, chatting, having a good time. And then the people that bought the party in the box, they're going to be able to access great deals throughout the event. So like Steve Saka is going to come on at one point. When Steve Saka comes on, his special event-only cigar is going to go on sale, but unfortunately, to be able to buy that, you'll have to be part of the. You had to get the party in the box. You'll have a code.
Got to be a ticket holder.
You got to be a ticket holder. But everybody can watch for free, and it's going to be a great time. Mike and I are going to be at Smoke In Boynton Beach at the Red Meat Lovers Club watch party, stuffing our faces all day long with good food. Mike, I need your help with a cool video. We'll talk about that later that I want to do. So
I'm going to bring my computer and I don't have a camera that I could be all around, but we could sit down and just do like video or whatever.
Yeah. I figured we could just we can do lives with our phone, but I want to do something else, and that'll be fun. So Mike and I will be at the that's where the fun's going to be, is at the watch party. Yeah, the telethon, the event,
because we could talk, because they're not going to be able to talk really, because it's the broadcast.
That's it. So it's not like we can be loud, we can have a good not a good. Those people are going to have a great time as well. But yeah, I want to be able to make, and I want the food. I want the food, Mike. I mean,
me too. I'm ready. He's Evan was saying that there's going to be 4.5 pounds of meat per person.
I know, and he said like lunch is 3 hours long. Lunch, it's just going to be insane. And if have you ever been to a Red Meat Lovers Club event?
Yeah, I went to their dinner. Remember, your friend couldn't. he couldn't go last
Oh,
year,
that's
so
right.
he hooked
Okay,
me up with a ticket, and I
that's
was
it.
able to go, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, a lot of food.
I gave
It's
up the
definitely.
cigars, but when I went bald, I ended up getting those cigars anyway. So,
Oh, okay, that's cool. So, but yeah, so it's a fun event. We're gonna have a blast. So, make sure you're following Mike on Instagram, Facebook. You're following me, Kevin Cigar Prop, everywhere.
hmm
We'll try and do some live events while you're watching, and then just doing some cool videos and having a good time. But like I said, you do not need a ticket to watch. Everybody's going to be able to watch at no charge, and it's going to be the event of the year. I mean, Abe is setting the bar for this event, and it's going to be awesome.
yep, I'm gonna be there precisely at noon. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get on. I'll stop and get gas. So I'll start a little bit after like 9:30, and so I'll be on the road by 10, and then I'll be there by noon. And it's just
Okay,
gonna
so
be
you're driving down. So all right.
yeah. I'm just going down for the day.
Okay.
I share a vehicle, so I got the whole day. So I'm just gonna go down there for the day and hang out. And I'll be there like late into the night, but I'll have to make sure towards the end I'm drinking some coffee. I'm hyped up off of some
All right.
espresso.
Yeah, we're going to go down Friday afternoon, and then because we're going to be there for the Rocky Patel pre-party Friday night. So
Okay.
we'll be hanging out down there, and then we're going to go over to the actual Great Smoke ahead of time, and I just want to meet Michael Herklotz, meet a couple people that are going to be there. Jessica and I
Yeah.
are going to do a little bit of press coverage over there for like I don't know 30 minutes, probably before it starts, and then
Yeah.
we'll be over there at noon, with hanging out with you over there and just.
Shoot, on your way Friday, stop by the Herf zone, and then I don't live too far from 95, so
Oh yeah,
stop by
I
the
thought
Herf zone if you. I'm in Melbourne, so I don't live too far from 95, so
yeah, it's going the opposite way.
well, I
We're we're
mean,
we're,
I
we're
mean,
on we're
you could plan yourself. You could plan if you want to.
yeah yes if yeah.
You,
So
you, 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 I know you're not a fun road tripper. You
I'm
gotta,
not,
you gotta
it's
beat the
it's getting to our destination, Mike. It's getting to our destination
start earlier.
before
Just start earlier. Just take a load
Je-
off.
Jessica's got to work. That's the thing. We got to get the kids off the bus,
Oh,
and then
okay.
we got to get them over to her parents' house,
Oh,
and
okay.
then hit the road, and then get over because
Oh, okay. I thought you were, already had people lined up and starting earlier or whatever. But
oh no we're in I don't know what time we probably won't get down there until probably 7 or 8 o'clock Friday night.
oh, okay. Yeah,
So
because
yeah.
if you're gonna be down there for the week, you're gonna be down there for the weekend?
No, we're gonna get up Sunday morning, and then just head home.
Oh, okay. You're not
Because
gonna do the brunch.
no, we don't have time for the brunch because it's 3.5 hour drive for us back home.
Oh yeah.
We got to pick the kids up, and so yeah, we gotta head back home.
Definitely. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Last year I was there for the whole weekend and uh the New England cigar militia or New England cigar. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say the whole thing.
Yeah,
Please don't take the group down,
yeah,
Zuckerberg. But anyway, so New England cigar, they're going to be down there deep. My boy Kevin Pear, I was talking with him early this morning and because he saw I did a video, and so he like called me at like 3 a.m. and he was like, "Hey, you're up."
yeah. So yeah,
That's what we do.
yeah. I can't wait to see Kevin. I said it's been a couple months since I've seen him, and so it should be fun. Yeah, and next year, as long as everything goes good, we want to come down for the whole weekend, and then
Oh
do
yeah,
like the whole brunch, the dinners, everything else, and
oh
just
yeah,
have a
yeah.
because we
When it's
haven't.
an in-person event, I'm gonna plan ahead and like I did last year, and just I found like a cheap. It's just me, so they're I found like a cheap Airbnb. Somebody was renting a room in their like nice apartment, and it was like real cheap because I was barely gonna be there. And I
Yeah,
told the guy, I was like, "Look, you're not gonna see me all weekend."
yeah, yeah. We're staying. I think our hotel is 3 minutes from Boynton Beach.
Oh, nice,
Yeah, it's just right around the corner, so it's gonna be awesome.
nice. Well, shoot, it's gonna be a good time. Definitely looking forward to hanging out and all that good stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and end this show. We can chop it up once we get off of being live. But I wanted to thank everybody for helping me to get over 200 subscribers on YouTube. And actually, like while the show was going, I had people subscribing. I'm at like 231 right now, so I want to give a shout out I'm at 232 now. I keep it just the numbers just keep going up. I might get to 300 tonight. Who knows? But anyway, so I want to give a shout out once again to all the socialites because that's where it started. I posted in the smoking group, and everybody showed a lot of love there and all that good stuff. So make sure you share this and everything. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And thank you guys for tuning in to Herf Zone Live. You guys have a wonderful night. Peace out.